welcome back to my channel. My name is Misty and this is Speculative Magpie, of course. So I'm doing my second video in the same day. I pulled my hair back so we can pretend it's different. So I thought I'd do the Booktube Newbie Tag simply because, well, more of an introduction kind of thing, and I can put it up in that little intro spot that they have for your customized channel kind of thing. So yeah, this is 10 questions and let's get started. So first question, why did you start this channel? Why did I start this channel? While my entire family likes to read, we don't really talk about the books that we read. I may mention, hey, I read this really cool book, and my husband's like, that's awesome. Okay. And my kids are pretty much the same. My youngest son likes to read a lot of, web comics. And my eldest son, we do kind of talk about books because we read one series, which is the Dresden Files. So he'll kind of give me his thoughts, but that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about the books I read because sometimes I have thoughts and feelings on them, and figured maybe someone would talk back to me about them online. So what are some of the fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? Well, not really too much different from what everybody else does, just, talking about books. And sometimes we're going to talk about the same kind of books, and sometimes we're not going to talk about the same kind of books, because I've already turned my book wish list into this huge thing now, just by watching Booktube. But I guess some of the unique things I can bring is my willingness to talk about how my mental health can totally screw up any kind of reading or anything. Is I have highs and lows, and in those lows I can barely get through a graphic novel, and I don't mind talking about that. I don't mind letting other people into that kind of headspace. I really don't think what I read affects my mental health, but I do definitely know that my mental health affects me reading. And I kind of want to talk about that because I think it's important, and mental health really shouldn't be stigmatized or, looked down upon, because pretty much everybody has it these days, or are more open to talking about it than what they used to be. And I'm pretty sure that you can tell by some of my videos when I'm having a low or a high, or when the mind fog is too much. What are you most excited for about this channel? I just want to meet people that like to read. I want to talk to them about the books they're reading, about the books they're writing, about the books that they want to read. I just want to talk to people about books. I'm very, I'm not very shy. I'm not very, outgoing. I'm pretty shy. So the thought of going to a book club is terrifying. This at least has a buffer of a camera in between us. So that's what I'm excited about. I want to talk to people about books, but in a safer environment. Why do I love reading? I don't know. I just do. I love all the stories that are out there. There's so much out there, and there's so much more in a book. I don't think it's better than TV. I love TV. Don't get me wrong. I love movies, but books, you just have so much, in my opinion, to pick from, so much more to experience when you sit down and you read a book. That's why I love reading. I love being in a character's head while they're experiencing something. And so, yeah, that's what I really, really enjoy. What book series or book got you into reading? Nothing concrete really stands out. I'm going to say my mother got me into reading. My mother was she's passed on. She was an English teacher, and she loved to read. And so I always saw her reading, so I read. And I read a whole bunch of things. My parents never censored my reading, which is something they probably wish they would have done eventually. But they never really cared what I read, or my father really didn't understand reading. He was more of an outside kind of person. So he always was a little baffled by Mom and I sitting quietly in our rooms reading. But, you know, hey, reading isn't for everybody. So yeah, is not so much one book series as my mom. My mom got me into reading. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? How do you edit? How do you add those little pictures? It's because I can do it now, but I'm pretty sure I'm doing it wrong. How do you get those cool thumbnails that you have of the really nice picture and then the book and then you looking all artistic while you're, how do you do that? Can you teach me? Is there a book, like 2 videos that I can learn from? Because I've tried to find those and they're all like how to edit from your iPhone, and I don't have an iPhone. I'm using an Android and some free edit software that has no learning info on it. So it's just me like going, well, does this work? So yeah, help a girl out, please. What challenges do you think starting a book channel will be the hardest to overcome? Consistency for me. Because there's going to be times where I'm going to be too far down in the low to post a video. And there's going to be times where I just won't be able to get my thoughts together doing a video. So yeah, actually getting the videos up, having something to do a video up of, you know, because there's going to be times where it's going to be 2 weeks and I'm only going to read 1 book and might only have 1 video for 14 days if I can't find tags that I want to do, that kind of thing. That's, I think, is going to be my biggest challenge. When did I start reading? Like, I've always been reading. There's been times where I have been unable to read due to, you know, trauma and stuff going on. But yeah, I've always read. There's never been a time where I've not been reading. I just might not be reading something I can talk about on here. Where do I read? Well, right now, I read at work. Because the small blocks of time that I have to read are what's allowing me to read. The graphic novels and the manga I can read at the house because they don't really require a lot of concentration. I hope one day I'll be able to where I can sit down and read a book like I used to. You know, just sit down for the day and read. But right now that's not mentally possible for me to do. And reading at work allows me to read a couple pages at a time and get that done. I can't even read at lunch because it's too long of a time for me to sit there. So yeah, I read at work. What kind of books do you like to read? Pretty much whatever I think might have a good story. I read a lot of horror. I read a lot of fantasy. I try to pepper in a little bit of general fiction. I think looking over at my to be read cart, I have 3 general fiction. So yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. Is I really don't like adventure books because all of the adventure books that I've read recently have been incredibly misogynistic and horrible and just rage inducing. So yeah, that's my get to know me newbie tag. Hopefully it's not too depressing talking about mental health and things, but there you go. So thank you for coming back to Speculative Magpie, where we can talk about books and things, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.